Finding the right therapist is a bit like dating. It might take a few tries, but it's a game changer when you find the right one that is very suitable for you. So let's dive in. When I'm out promoting my services, I get asked a lot, especially by GPs, what's the difference between all the mental health professionals in Australia? In today's video, we'll cover everything from qualifications to their roles, who can prescribe medications, who can diagnose, and what it typically charges. But here's the thing. Before we get into the different professionals, let's talk about psychology as a field. So psychology is the scientific study of the mind and behavior. It explores everything from how we think, feel, and act to how we interact with others and the world around us. Mental health practitioners apply this understanding to help people manage mental health issues, overcome difficulties, improve their overall well-being. So psychology branches out into many specialties like clinical, counseling, forensic, educational psychology. Now let's explore the types of professionals in the mental health space, starting with the psychiatrist. First off, we have the psychiatrist. Psychiatrists are medical doctors. They specialize in mental health. They have completed a medical degree, followed by years of specialist training in psychiatry. This means that they are able to diagnose complex mental illness, and they can also prescribe medications to manage conditions like depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder, and more. Psychiatrists work in a medical model, meaning they focus on how biological factors influence mental health. Some may also offer talk therapy, but they are typically known for medication management and assessing more severe mental health issues. They usually belong to the Psychiatrists Association, the Royal Australian and the New Zealand College of Psychiatrists. So what are their typical fees? So consultations may range between $200 to $500 per session. You will need a referral from a GP to see a psychiatrist, and Medicare rebates are available for certain sessions. Next are psychologists. We have the psychologist. These are professionals that are trained in understanding human behavior and mental processes. They help people work through issues like anxiety, trauma, depression, relationship problems. They use therapeutic techniques. Psychologists do not prescribe medication in Australia. Their primary focus is on therapy and assessments. There are usually two types of psychologists. Clinical psychologists, they have a master's or doctorate degree in clinical psychology, and they specialize in assessing and treating mental illness. Then you have general psychologists. They hold a general psychology degree, but they still can provide therapy and they can support mental health issues. And they do belong to the Professional Association of the Australian Psychology Society, or the Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency, that's APRA. Their typical fees are usually around $120 to $250 per session, depending on the specialization. And you can access a psychologist through your GP's mental health care plan, which gives you a rebate for a certain number of sessions under Medicare. We get that? All right. Next is the mental health social worker. I am a mental health social worker, and we are professionals that hold qualifications in social work along with specialist training in mental health. We provide counseling, therapy, assessments, particularly for people dealing with complex life issues like trauma, abuse, chronic mental health conditions. Mental health social workers often focus on the social and the broader environmental factors that does influence a person's behavior and mental health. Mental health social workers do not prescribe medication. We don't do diagnosis. We can provide assessments, therapy, and referrals to other societies. Yes, our professional association is the Australian Association of Social Workers, and you may hold a mental health accreditation. Our fees are usually typical between $100 to $250 per session. Medicare rebates are available through a GP referral under the healthcare plan. The next professional is the occupational therapist, otherwise known as the OTs. They specialize in helping people improve their daily functioning, particularly those whose mental health affects their ability to work. They can take care of themselves or engage in life fully. OTs do well with mental health training. They focus primarily on improving skills and well-being and coping strategies, relaxation techniques, and routines. They do work with people who are struggling with conditions like ADHD, autism, chronic mental health conditions that usually affect their daily functioning. And they are often registered with the Occupational Therapy Australia and APRAC. Their fees are typically between 90 to 200 per session, and access can be through private referral, NDIS, or a Medicare sometimes. Mental health nurses are the next, and they specialize in mental health, of course. They work in hospitals, clinics, sometimes community settings, often supporting people with severe chronic mental health conditions. They do administer medications, and they provide therapy, and they offer ongoing care. They work closely with psychiatrists and other mental health professionals to provide a holistic care. And they are often registered with the Australian College of Mental Health Nurses. Their fees vary based on service location. Mental health nurses can be assessed through hospitals, your GP, community health care centers, with Medicare or insurance rebates that are often covering the cost. Now let's talk about counselors and therapists. These professionals provide emotional and psychological support through talk therapy. Unlike psychologists, counselors do not require a specific degree in psychology. So they could have a diploma or a master's or a degree in counseling. Their framework is usually short form of counseling. It could be relating to relationship issues or issues that have to do with your well-being. They do not prescribe medications. They do not often do diagnosis as well. The associations are Australian Counselling Association and PACFA. Fees are usually between 80 to 150 per session, and they're often assessed privately, and unfortunately Medicare rebates are not typically available to counselors, except no, Medicare rebates are not accessible. Yeah. So finally, we have the psychotherapist, and it's a deeper form of therapy, often long-term. It's aimed at understanding emotional difficulties and the underlying patterns of behavior that psychotherapists or psychologists or counselors or social workers may focus exclusively on that psychotherapeutic techniques like psychoanalysis or other forms of therapy. And they're often registered with PACFA, that is the association body in Australia. And their fees can range between 100 to 250 per session, and psychotherapists are often assessed privately. So let's talk about finding the right professional that is suitable for you. So how do you choose the right mental health professional? It's a bit like dating. Sometimes you won't find the perfect match on the first try, and that's okay. Whether you're looking for someone who can prescribe medication, someone who focuses on talk therapy, or a more holistic approach to mental health, it's about finding that connection really. What you do, hold them tight when you find the right one. So I hope this video has cleared things up for you. Remember, mental health is a journey, and finding the right support is huge. If you're ready to start your healing journey, click the link in the description or connect with me on LinkedIn. You can also send me a direct message and I'll respond to you to get started. So in our one-on-one sessions, I'll tackle challenges like grief, trauma, depression, anxiety. I do use techniques like EMDR, shadow work, mindfulness, CBT. Your healing is important, and it will help you gain confidence, build boundaries, improve your relationship, and help you find peace and balance in your daily life. So feel free to like, comment, share this video if you find it helpful. Until next time, take care of your mind and be kind to your mind.